All right, with AI being all the rage these days and people looking for an easy or a fast way to make money with AI, I'm going to talk about today how to create a $5,000 website using AI and turn it into a full-time business. So why websites? First and foremost, websites are pretty much something every business owner needs and or wants, right? It's one of the first three things that a business owner decides to put in place after they've decided on their business idea. So that, hey, I want to go into this type of business. I think I'm going to call it this. All right, what's my to-do list? Well, in the top, one of the top three things in their to-do list is going to be, all right, I need to get a website up. Okay, so it's not to say that we need to sell websites to people who don't have them. The more important point is that all business owners know that a website is integral, it's important to their business to be successful. Okay, now what does an average website sell for? Okay, so an average website will sell for around, well, let's take a look. Around $3,000 to $5,000 tends to be the common range that all websites kind of fall in. That's been this way for over a decade. These have been the price ranges. So the important point there is people expect that a website is maybe a significant investment or insignificant depending on their budget, but it's an investment that they have to make, and that's typically the range that they're going to play around with. What that does is give us some leeway when we build and sell our websites, because we're going to be able to produce using AI a very professional website that's going to look like it's worth $5,000 to $10,000, that we can easily get our foot in the door anywhere from 500 to 3,000. And what do I mean by foot in the door? Well, let's just look at the business model that we're going to build around this process. So the most successful business strategy that we have used, I've used it since I've been doing agency work for local small businesses since 2012, is to start with a results first strategy. And that all that is I'm going to provide a service or a product first, show a result, present that to the business owner, and then ask the business owner, hey, do you want this or do you not want this? If they say yes, I then hand over the service and or product in exchange for money. And then at that point or down the road, I will eventually sell other services to that business. In this case, we're going to use the website. In fact, because an AI website is very fast to produce, I need very little to no technical skills to do this. Again, it's very fast, so I can then consistently do this every single day, multiple times a day, without it being some chore or some kind of thing that's very hard for me to do. And so what we're going to do is we're going to produce a website, show the result, show this website, and say, hey, is this something that you're interested in? If they want the website, we will then sell it to them, get their final changes or updates that they want to make, and then hand over that finished product, and then eventually sell other services. And what that'll look like, and we'll demo that here in just a second. And what does that look like starting this business? Well, the beautiful thing about this business is overhead, basically what does it take me to get started, is pretty much little to no money, right? So if I'm on a tight budget, this is something I can easily start as a side hustle and again, grow it into a full-time business and not have to worry about a lot of cash coming out of my pockets. So what kind of prices are we looking for? What kind of expenses am I potentially going to have from this? Well, first and foremost, to build the website, we're going to use a tool called Lovable. It's an AI website builder, and they have a free plan, so it's going to be $0 to get started. Okay, I'm going to want potentially to buy a domain for my website demos so that I can have a domain to show potential business owners their demo website, and I'll be able to use that domain over and over and over again. That's going to be something that's going to cost me around $9 for the year. Okay, so very cheap. When it comes to then presenting the website, right, I'm going to build it. So I'm going to use Lovable to build it. I'm going to put it on a domain. And then ultimately, I'm going to want to outreach to businesses to show them the website. Well, I can use a free AI tool, ChatGPT. You can use Claude. You can use any of the ones that you potentially use. They all kind of work the same way. And they all pretty much are free to use to put together basically my prospecting scripts and or any kind of proposals I want to put together. They can be built very quickly with AI. And again, it's going to cost me nothing to do that initially. And then prospecting, right? There's some places that I'm going to prefer to look. I can look at places where they're already asking for help, and that's job posting sites like Upwork or Freelancer, or I can go to a place like Google Maps and look for high potential opportunities, like look for people who don't have a website listed in their business profile. Okay. Either of those sources are going to cost me $0 to get started. Do some of these other tools like Lovable, ChatGPT, even Upwork, do they have paid plans? Yes, they do, but I don't have to start on those. Those are something I can gradually build into as I start making money from my business. And when it comes to making money, the financials are actually pretty good, right? So we already know that the website is valued anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 just naturally by the range of what a website will cost, okay? So this allows us to easily come in and sell our website anywhere from $500 to $3,000. And why that big of a range? Well, you have a lot of flexibility here. A lot of people think it's better to use a very cheap price to get my foot in the door and make it easier for them to say yes, and that I can then sell other services, and that's where I'll make my real income. And then there's others that are like, no, the value of these websites are anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000, so I can easily and confidently offer a website for $3,000 and know I'm delivering a great value to them and they're saving money. Really, it's going to depend on your confidence level, right? If you're just getting started, you've never sold any of these before, I'm going to recommend just start with $500, right? $500 for the website, right? Once you get a few yeses under your belt, you're going to build that confidence, and it's going to be easier for you to say, all right, well, you know what? Next website I sell, I'm going to sell for $1,000. And then I sell a couple of those. Once I do that, $1,500, you work your way up to where you're comfortable and where it works for your strategy, where you're getting the most yeses that allow you to transition and then eventually offer monthly marketing services or advertising services that can range anywhere from $200 a month to $2,500 a month. And that's where the real snowball in your income really happens. I can get my foot in the door with a one-time sale, and regardless of what happens after that, that's good money. Right? Whether I make $500 or $3,000, I'm happy to put that right in my pocket. I'm happy with that. But the real money starts happening where I can lock in a business by offering them a marketing service that's going to help them get more customers and get anywhere from $200 to $2,500 a month. And that money's going to come in month after month after month. And every new client that I get going forward that I'm able to sell marketing services to, that adds more monthly income on top of the one-time website sales, and allows me to really grow and scale this into a full-time business that, again, I can do, again, while I'm still working, or ultimately replace my day job income. Okay, so with that, let's take a look at what this process might look like with a quick demo. All right, so first and foremost, let's focus on where we can find businesses. I mentioned a few. I can go to Google Maps and look for people who don't have website listings, or I can go to a job posting site. If I'm going to pick one to start, I'm probably going to pick the job posting sites, because those are literally people saying, I have money and I need help, right? So we don't have to guess whether they want help or not. We don't have to guess whether they need a new website or not, or want a website redesign. They're already saying, yes, I do, and here's money that I'm offering for someone to do it. So we can go to a site like Freelancer, and again, Upwork, Guru.com, they all work the same kind of way. Basically, businesses go and they post. Upwork is probably the biggest, but I'm just going to show Freelancer because they're really all the same. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to find work. I can go by skill, and here's website jobs right here. And ultimately, no matter what site I'm on, I'm going to want to sort it by the newest. And all I'm doing is I'm looking for very simple, easy to understand requirements. I'm looking basically to help someone with a website. Okay. So this is someone asking for an app. Okay. Not what we're doing here. Okay. Simple e-commerce website build. Okay. E-commerce and local business websites tend to be a little different, but it doesn't mean I can't do e-commerce. But for the purposes of this, I'm looking for just some kind of simple website build for a local business type client. Okay. Lead generating WordPress company site. That might be something I would look at. Again, I can look at any of these, open them up, but we're going to try to find something that's just really simple, easy. This one looks okay. Stupid application portal, ordering system for a restaurant. Let's see, website. Oh, here we go. Concrete and hardscape portfolio. So basically, this is someone who does concrete and hardscaping projects, probably sell that as a service to customers. And so they're looking to, goal is to impress prospective clients, blah, blah, blah. And they're telling you what I need. So in the end, here's really all I'm going to do. Keep this simple, okay? So I have a project. All I'm going to do for simplicity, because I have AI on my side, is I'm just going to copy this and paste it into our website builder, which is going to be Lovable. Okay, so all I'm going to do, let me go into Lovable, is I'm going to say, I need a website built based on the following project. Okay, space down. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and we're going to copy the title. And then I'm going to copy the rest. Okay. And I'm just going to paste that in. Okay, and then that's it. I'm going to hit submit. And now what it's going to do is it's going to look at the requirements. It's going to look at basically the request. What is this person asking for? And it's going to put together something that kind of meets their requirements. Okay. And the beautiful thing about this is, as you can see by how I initially got this going, is I don't need any technical skills. All I need to know how to do is just talk, type essentially, right? And copy and paste, right? I don't need to be a website coder. I don't need to be a professional web design agency. AI has leveled the playing field for people like me who isn't necessarily technically smart, but I have some understanding of how to communicate, and that's really all you need with AI. I just have to be able to communicate, because that's how you talk to AI. You talk like a normal human, like you would with a normal human being, right? If I was talking to a web designer, I'd simply say, hey, I have this project that I'm interested in doing for someone. Can you do this? Here's what they're asking for. Can you build something like this for them? That's all I would say to another human being. But instead of doing that, I now have my human being is now my team member, and which is AI, which completely understands how to do it. Not only understands what I'm talking about, but knows how to put that together to deliver exactly what it is I need. So instead of talking with a human being and having to, like, again, communicate with them back and forth and wait weeks for this stuff to be done, AI is going to do this in minutes for me, okay? So all that's going to happen is it's going to build out the site. As you can see, it's doing its thing. Well, while it's building, I can go ahead and knock out one of my other tasks to save even more time, okay? So I know I'm going to want to submit my bid, right? Submit a bid for this. So now all I need to do is I can come into, again, in this case, I'm going to use ChatGPT. And for ChatGPT, again, it could be Claude, it could be Gemini, it could be anything. I'm going to use ChatGPT because it's easy, it's free, it's simple. And I'm going to do the same thing I just did in Lovable, but this time I'm going to say, I need a freelancer proposal put together for the following freelancer project. I'm also going to add one more thing. I want to include I built a demo website already for them and want to include a spot in the proposal for the website link. Okay, and I'm going to go back and copy the title of this as well. I already got the description left over from when I pasted it into Lovable. Oops. Okay. So all I said is, hey, put together a proposal based on the following project. Okay. And even faster than Lovable can put together the website, I'm already going to have a nice a nice proposal for Freelancer. All I have to do is literally copy and paste it. Okay. What I'll build for it lays it all out, so it knows exactly what the requirements were and how to put together a proposal that's going to help increase the odds that I get this job by addressing what they asked for and putting, some sales psychology behind it. Also, at the very end, it kind of says, hey, it gives me my thing. At the end, usually it'll say something like, hey, if you want to make this shorter, or if you want to change something, just let me know. And you can just simply type and say, hey, I want to make this a little shorter, or hey, can you add this piece? So you can have full customization of the proposal. Same thing as I do with the site. If the site comes back and in the end, I don't usually look to change anything, but if something comes back and I want to make a change, I can easily, again, use AI, use the AI's brain and just simply say, hey, here's what I want, and AI will do it for me. Okay. So now I have a proposal that I can submit and go back to Lovable, and here's my site. My site's done. Now, again, as I was kind of saying, I can make changes if I want to, but all I'm looking for is a 90% solution, which this is going to give me. Okay, so as you can see, this is a beautiful website that easily would sell for around $10,000 if I was an old web design agency and they were asking for this, again, anytime in the last 5 years, this is something I get away with selling for $10,000. And this can be built out as extensive as we want. Like, it usually does a single scroll, but I can have this be separate pages, right? I can add more pages. But in the end, all I'm looking to do initially is have a demo that is the 90% solution, which this is going to give me because it's based on their requirements. I'm looking to show this to them to say, hey, here's what I've built. I built a demo. Again, I'm going to use the proposal that has already been given to me. All I would do is publish this, and I can put it, it's going to be on this domain, but I can add my own custom domain here, which is what I would probably do. I'd buy something like yourdemosite.com, and then I would make this stonecraft.yourdemosite.com, and then the next project that I bid on, say it's for Jack's Plumbing, I would put it on jacksplumbing.yourdemosite.com. I'll be able to use the same domain over and over and over again. Again, this can walk me through it very easy, step by step, but I can easily add my own domain. But when I publish it, it'll automatically be on this. If I didn't want to add my own domain, I could just use this domain. But anyway, bottom line is I'm going to publish it. I'm going to send my proposal to the project, and then I'm going to move on. I'm going to keep bidding on more projects for the day. But ultimately, what I'm looking to happen is they're going to see my proposal. It's going to stand out versus other people's proposals because everyone else is going to say, hey, here's my portfolio. Here's what I've done in the past. I could build something for you, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying, hey, I've already built a demo site based on your requirements. So while everyone else is saying they could do something for them, I've already done it. I'm saying, hey, I've already done this for you. So when they look at my proposal and they open this up, they're like, oh man, this is pretty much what we want. I love this design, or I don't really like this, but I really love this. Now they're going to start dressing it up as their own. They're going to say, oh, okay, well, we maybe put our logo in the center. I'd like to have our phone number here. I'd like maybe a whole page where we can have, I have my own I have my own images, but I would want each one to have its own page describing the project. They're going to start kind of making all these customizations in their head. Well, if they want it, right? If they want this site, which is already, again, pretty much already done for them, so they already know that there's already a nearly done solution that they're not going to have to wait around for. It's already probably aligned with what they already want because it's based on their requirements. It's going to be much easier for them to say yes to this than it is other projects. Okay, so all that looking to happen is submit this proposal. They come back and say, yeah, this is something we're interested in. Here's the changes we'd make. Then I can then drop my price. It doesn't matter what the bid price was because ultimately this is the way it works with all these sites. We're going to have a conversation and then the final price is agreed on. So in this instance, I can say, yeah, absolutely. I can make the changes you want and deliver this for $500 total. They would change the bid, award it to me. I would copy and paste the changes that they want, drop it back in here to Lovable and say, hey, here's the changes the client wants to make. We make those changes and then the $500 is exchange hands. And now I have a client that I can then eventually, whether it's right away or down the road, say something along the lines of, hey, well, we got the site here. Quick question. What are you guys doing to advertise? What are you doing to get eyeballs on this new website? What are you doing to attract new customers? Because I also offer marketing services that can help with that as well. Is that something you're interested in discussing? Something simple like that I can drop at any point in time to then start up the conversation to open it up to eventually have me to be able to offer monthly reoccurring marketing services. And that's it. That's the business over and over and over again. And that's how I can quickly build a website that's worth $5,000, $10,000 and build a complete business around it where I'm selling the website for one time at a much more affordable, high value price, and then stacking reoccurring monthly marketing services on top. Okay. With that, I'll see you in another video. Cheers.